Welcome back to MG Horror Studios YouTube channel, everyone. After days of anticipation, Chilla's Arts has recently released the game titled Jisatsu, falling under the found footage genre. Will this camera lead us to terrifying stories? Let's find out in today's video. Before we dive in, I hope you can give me a thumbs up, share, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell to support me. Now, let's get started. Found footage is a filmmaking style where most of the scenes or film content are recorded using handheld cameras or surveillance cameras, presented in the form of tapes, cameras, or found footage videos. Although shooting with a handheld camera may result in blurry shots, poor angles, and inadequate lighting, it enhances the realism of the film, making viewers feel like they are witnessing something real rather than a meticulously staged, scripted film. This filming technique is commonly found in cinema, especially in horror genres such as Gonjiam, Haunted Asylum, The Ghost in Apartment 727, or more recently, The Curse. However, it is less commonly used in games. Nevertheless, Chilla's Art took the risk of incorporating it into their recently released game, Jisatsu, even though it deviates from their usual game development patterns. In Jisatsu, you play as an anonymous man, an employee of a small-scale film company, who sets foot in an abandoned house to start shooting footage exploring haunted locations, a genre that has gained popularity in online communities recently. It's not difficult to find videos like attempting to summon a ghost, exploring haunted apartments, or playing spiritual games at allegedly haunted locations on the internet. Although it is widely known that most paranormal phenomena in these videos are staged, the average views for such videos always hover below 100,000. Therefore, whether one likes it or not, you are compelled to go to the designated shooting locations. That is an abandoned house hidden in a desolate area in the city of X, province Y. In front of the house stands a statue of a plump raccoon. According to Japanese culture, Tanuki is a friendly, mischievous yokai capable of transforming into humans and ready to repay those who help them. The Tanuki statues placed in front of houses are believed to have the power to help homeowners make wise decisions, enhance their strength for success, and bring luck in financial matters, and so on. Inside the rather dimly lit house, belongings are scattered and messy, dust and cobwebs fill the air, and the water has been cut off, indicating that no one has set foot here for a long time, and you are the only guest today. In the dimly lit darkness, you have to explore the house with the faint light from a flashlight in your hand. The old creaky floor emits tiny, faint sounds, echoing in the quiet space with each step, making your heart beat faster. There is no one, and nothing supernatural in this place. Ghosts do not exist, you reassure yourself and continue exploring the house. The first place you enter is the living room with a dusty fireplace and an old torn newspaper on top, alongside an ancient-looking cassette tape. How long have they been here? You don't know, but out of curiosity, you decide to pick it up and take a look. The newspaper is quite old and difficult to read, with only the headline, hidden part, visible. However, the cassette tape seems interesting. You pick it up, try to insert it into the nearby cassette player. Luckily, it still works. The screen quickly lights up, projecting scenes from the tape. It's a recording from a handheld camera, with a low-angle perspective indicating that the camera person is likely a child. The camera focuses on two people, a man and a woman, kneeling in front of two bodies covered with white sheets, holding what seems to be a crucifix in prayer, with the faces of the individuals in the photos blurred. The child stands up, leaves the room, and moves around the house, then stops in front of a small room with the door ajar, revealing a small bird lying motionless in a pool of blood. The scene cuts, and the video transitions to the child using a shovel to dig a grave, preparing to bury the unfortunate little bird. But a mysterious sound intervenes. It's the voice of a man, echoing from the hidden pit behind the house. The voice claims to be hungry and requests the child to quickly bring the small bird for nourishment. The child, without hesitation and seemingly accustomed to this, swiftly picks up the bird and tosses it into the pit. The video ends. You sit up, finding it challenging to understand the meaning of this tape, but looking at the screen displaying scenes of another tape lying outside in the garden, you think you might find the answers in the next tape. Standing up and pushing the door open, you are startled to see a strange woman appearing behind the door frame in the opposite row of rooms. Who is she? A ghost, a real person, or just an illusion? You don't know, but this will undoubtedly be a valuable scene for this film. With all the courage you have, you open the door, step into the opposite room where the woman is standing, but strangely, there is only an old coat hanging on a coat rack. Perhaps, what you just experienced was an illusion, your eyes playing tricks on you. You reassure yourself, open the door, step outside, heading straight to where the next tape is placed, pick it up, and continue enjoying the incomplete footage. This time, the voice of the man in the pit instructs the child holding the camera to place a koi fish head on a hook. Similar to the previous scene, the child obediently complies. It fishes under the pond and brings it over for the elderly couple to chop off the fish's head, but their request is denied. With no other choice, the child picks up a saw and proceeds to cut the fish's body by itself. But after it finishes, the surroundings suddenly turn horrifying. The decapitated koi fish lies strewn across the floor, red fluid splattering everywhere, sticking to the floor, chairs, and shelves. However, the child remains unperturbed as if nothing happened, casually holding the fish head it just obtained, tossing it into the backyard toilet for the mysterious voice to nourish. The video segment concludes, revealing that the next part of the recording is inside a room displaying a traditional Japanese doll collection. Everything seems normal afterward, but just as you pick up the tape for the next part, the lights in the room suddenly go out, plunging the surroundings into pitch darkness, making it impossible for you to move. A strange sound emerges, as if something or someone is being dragged beneath the floor. The radio is static, and a series of other miscellaneous sounds. Despite not knowing where they come from, you cannot deny that those sounds have successfully sent shivers down your spine. A few minutes later, as everything gradually settles, you find that the flashlight is working normally again. The positions of the traditional dolls seem to have changed, but without concern, you have a more crucial test to conduct. Carrying the tape, you return to the recording room and continue watching it. This time, you see a person lying slumped over the fireplace, perhaps sleeping, or something terrible has happened to them. The child with the camera approaches, and you clearly see that it's a woman. She has passed away, and a vulture even perches nearby, viewing her as its meal. Suddenly, the man rushes to chase the vulture away. He kneels beside the woman, crying, helpless before her departure. His head bows down to the ground, then slowly, at a visible normal eye-blink pace, he tilts his head, looking directly into the camera lens. The scene shifts to the backyard toilet, this time accompanied by a small doll dressed in an old kimono. The voice of the man in the toilet echoes again, this time, requesting the child to take the woman's hair, his mother's, attach it to the doll, and then throw it down. The child returns to the room, despite the frightened old man, kneels down to pray next to him, calmly cuts the chilling hair from the cold body of the woman, attaches it to the doll, and brings it to the mysterious voice. The tape ends, and the image of the kimono-clad doll with the mother's hair appears. You silently affirm that finding the doll might lead to the discovery of the next tape. But as soon as you turn your head back, the sight in front of you is heart-stopping. Unnoticed since then, the doll is now behind you. Its head falls off and starts guiding you to where you need to go. Walking along the dark corridor, the only thing you hear is the sound of your own footsteps and the rolling head of the doll on the floor. The once adorable tanuki statue now turns into a nightmare, repeatedly appearing and disappearing behind doors, blocking your every exit, forcing you to continue your quest to uncover the mystery. Finding the last doll, you discover a key used to unlock the sealed room on the first floor. Inside is a doll display room, or more precisely, it is an altar, a shrine of dolls wearing kimonos, and the tape is placed there. As soon as your hand touches the tape, the door behind suddenly closes, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot escape. Through a tear in the door, you see a pair of glowing eyes in the darkness. It's a little girl, a girl dressed in a kimono, just like the dolls in the room. She stands in the dark, staring at you. The room's door suddenly shakes violently, and everything only ends when a vulture appears. The door suddenly opens normally, and you venture out, seeing two dolls, one male and one female. The female doll is undoubtedly the shadow of the little girl who stared at you earlier, and the male doll's head has been covered by a cloth, making it impossible to see the face. Things are starting to get terrifying now. You take a deep breath, calmly taking the reel of tape back to the main room. This time, on the screen is the scene of the boy holding the camera climbing up from the basement to find the mysterious voice in the pit. This time, the strange voice says that the old man passed away while bathing and requests the boy to bring his fingernail. Like every time before, the boy obediently listens to the mysterious voice, using pliers to pull the old man's nail and bring it to the pit. The video ends with a scene in the bathroom. Despite feeling everything is very strange, and knowing that you should not delve too deep into this story, curiosity, and the intuition that this video will surely be hot, prompt you to continue searching for the next tape in the bathroom. Draining the red liquid in the bathtub, you will find it. But just like last time, the bathroom door is stuck and it takes a while for you to be able to escape. You will then find the basement in the previous video, and with all your courage, you decide to climb down. It's a rough stone tunnel, the kind often seen in horror movies, leading straight to the pit, where the strange voice in the tape comes from. Inside the tunnel are crude crucifixes lined up side by side, resembling primitive tombstones erected by someone, religious portraits, and a functioning video recording tape player. Although strange, well, at least you don't have to go back upstairs to play the tape in your hand. This time, the mysterious voice requests the boy to overturn all the crucifixes in the house. And as always, the boy still obediently follows. As the number of inverted crucifixes in the house increases, statues of the Virgin Mary with strong religious characteristics appear more and more, dolls covered in red liquid, but the boy seems not to notice, acting decisively without caring about the consequences that make you shiver. And finally, when the last crucifix is overturned, the black crow appears, and the tape ends. Your whole body is drenched in sweat from fear. Everything that happened in this haunted house cannot be described as anything other than madness, and you need to get out of this place immediately. With your last strength, you climb out of the tunnel and crawl onto the ground, but unfortunately, you are not the only visitor in this haunted house. A bearded man suddenly appears from behind. Perhaps he just followed you, or maybe since you set foot in this weird place, you have been within his sight. You panic and try to run away, while he still clings to you. With all your might, you jump into the car hoping to escape this demonic place. But unfortunately, a large branch blocks the way. Faced with the brink of life and death, you decide to leave the car behind and run away. But unfortunately, luck does not smile at you. The man caught up, knocked you down, and dragged you back like dragging an animal back to the car, driving back to his house. Your body is then divided into many pieces in the bathroom, and the final scene that the camera captures is an image of you, or rather parts of your body being thrown into the pit, becoming food for the mysterious voice below. But don't feel regretful for your efforts going unnoticed. The footage that you risked your life to capture has been sent to your company. However, your boss doesn't seem enthusiastic about it, even blaming you for sending the tape instead of delivering it directly to him. Despite the final scene indicating that you won't have a chance to move up in the company anymore, he still believes it's a staged scene and that you're quitting out of laziness. However, he'll regret that soon. He falls victim to the mysterious man in the haunted house while planning to go to the restroom, and even your esteemed subordinates share the same fate. Soon enough, they will join you in joyous company beneath those tombstones. Before explaining the plot, I think you should know about this video. Its name is My House Walkthrough, created by the YouTuber Nana825763, posted 8 years ago, with over 3.8 million views on YouTube. Its content revolves around a guy waking up to the sound of the wind in the middle of the night and deciding to make a video introducing his house. Through the vivid scenes, we can see it is an old, run-down house with dilapidated doors and pictures taken during World War II. Coincidentally, this house also has a doll display room, a bathroom, a grandparent's room, a dimly lit hallway, and peculiar corridors. The grandmother lies on the bed, while the grandfather is in the bathtub. Even though this is a meticulously staged fantasy film, it undeniably terrified many people upon their first viewing. Indeed, the setting in Jisatsu was heavily inspired by Nana's My House Walkthrough. In Japanese, Jisatsu means to take photos or videos of oneself. However, it also has a homophone meaning, to end one's life. The story in Jisatsu is essentially the journey of an anonymous employee stepping into a haunted house to film a video without realizing that it is a perilous act. The consequence is that he ends up buried in the desolate pit under the abandoned house. The house originally belonged to a 3-generation family. For an unclear reason, the son and daughter-in-law of this family passed away, leaving a small child and 2 elderly grandparents relying on each other. Based on crucifixes, Jesus paintings, and Mother Mary statues, it can be seen that this was an extremely religious family. But everything changed when the son of the family turned away from God. In Jisatsu, there are a total of 9 achievements, each corresponding to a binary sequence. When decoded, they reveal the word Satan, indicating that the mysterious voice heard in the videotapes belongs to the devil, who is responsible for the mysterious deaths inside the house. The devil manipulates the sacrificial man to offer parts of his body, or even transform him into the most loyal follower. To reinforce this theory, notice that every 6 minutes, an achievement appears. In Christianity, the number 7 is a sign of God, symbolizing perfection with 7 days in a week, 7 souls, and 7 revelation churches. Conversely, the number 6 represents imperfection. Every 6 minutes, an achievement appears, and with 9 achievements, we get the sequence 666,666,666, a phone number associated with demons. Therefore, the true manipulator behind the scenes, pulling the strings, is none other than Satan. But why did he choose to attack this family? According to the typical horror movie pattern, Satan prefers to attack those with strong faith in God because he feels superior when manipulating the most faithful followers. The son, after the death of his grandparents and parents, continued to live in the abandoned house, seeking the next prey to offer to the devil. Interestingly, his face is shaped exactly like Shoko Asahara, the infamous leader of the Aum Shinrikyo cult in Japan. Born into a poor family, Asahara suffered from congenital glaucoma, leading to blindness in his left eye and reduced vision in his right eye. Despite not possessing extraordinary intelligence, he successfully brainwashed hundreds of thousands, claimed to be Jesus, and founded the infamous Aum Shinrikyo cult. The cult perpetrated a series of terrorist attacks that shocked Japan in the 1990s. Notably, the sarin gas attack on the Tokyo subway, using a highly toxic nerve agent, resulted in 12 deaths, 50 injuries, and left lasting effects on thousands of others. According to statistics, this terrorist incident caused the most significant loss of life in Japan since the end of World War II. Asahara was later arrested and executed in 2018, but the cult he built still exists and continues to thrive in various forms to this day. Moreover, in the game, we also see the appearance of traditional Japanese ikamatsu dolls. In culture, dolls often symbolize wishes for health and peace for a family's child. However, by the end, when the crucifixes are reversed, male dolls with covered heads appear, symbolizing that the wishes and protection from spirits are no longer effective, as the family's son has been completely brainwashed by the demon. Personally, I feel that Chilla's art intentionally designed the antagonist's image to resemble Shoko Asahara to emphasize that when a fanatic exploits religion for wrongdoing, they are no different from a henchman for demons in hell. It can be said that instead of revolving around the perilous venture of filming explorations in dangerous places, Jisatsu aims to address the fanaticism in faith and the misconceptions that religion can cause when manipulated by evildoers. In a sense, religion is created to instill faith in humanity, guiding us towards goodness with a virtuous, ethical, and beautiful lifestyle. However, when twisted and exploited for nefarious purposes, it becomes a formidable weapon that pushes humanity into the darkness of gruesome death. And that's all that happened in Jisatsu. How do you feel about today's story? Did you like it? If so, please leave a comment below and let me know. Don't forget to stay tuned for my upcoming videos. For now, goodbye, and see you in the next videos.